Yeah? Redmond, I told the people here why we do this with you. And I said because we love each other. That's why. Because we had a kind of match. Can you come over here, please? I want to say something to you. You always say, I was born in the wrong century. But with all these attentions you have now, the popularity in the Netherlands, and ladies and gentlemen, after Emmen, in which city he had 100% recognition, yes? Enschede will follow. So your future is, looking forward to you and you to your future, I think, here in the Netherlands. So I think the next time you should say, I'm very glad I was born in the 20th century and I'm living in the 21st century.
Oh, the 21st?
Yeah. You were not born in the 21st century. Maybe next time. I have a present for you. It's a tablecloth, something like that. It's woven here in the museum. I want to thank you very much for this cooperation. Redmond, we did it.
I've seen the exhibition now. I would think it was wonderful, wouldn't I? But actually, I thought it was so exciting, I thought I was about to faint. And, well, on the way back from Bering Island, it's all his fault, we were caught in the most terrible cyclone in the Bering Sea. And the rescue boat sent together was wrecked itself. It was really bad. You could see it on the satellite maps. And I was sure I was going to die. Now, the strangest thing happened, which will connect us to Darwin, but last night, I was lying in bed, and all I did was turn over, and suddenly the bed went just like this horrible little Russian yacht. And I hung on to the roof above my head, and I thought I was going to die again. Now, it turns out it's very boring. It's common in the elderly. And it's when one of your cochleas, in your little fluid in your ear, bit gets stuck. And it changes your whole view of the world, I promise you. Now, much the same thing, but reversed, happened to Charles Darwin in Chile. There was the most tremendous earthquake, first he'd been in. And he said his whole idea, his emotional idea of the structure of the world changed. This really helped him to think in terms of fluids, molten rock, massive changes that sometimes could happen quite fast. And indeed, he looked in the morning, all the beach levels had risen. Now, this was rather a different sensation, because it means, you can't trust your brain either, if that's going to happen to the elderly. And Darwin's revelation was, of course, much more important. And you can really feel his presence, the presence of all these 19th century heroes in this magnificent exhibition. It's quite spooky, it's very powerful, it's wonderfully done. I say I couldn't believe it. Now, one of the great things about this series, and there are too many to count, is that I get given things. People I don't know come up to me. This young man the other evening came up, and he'd been working. I don't say I've lost it. They don't lose things in this museum. He'd been working in. No, not that. That's the Congo fetish. Here we are. Working in Rotterdam. And all over the detritus, all over the, in fact, the sediments laid down at the bottom of the North Sea, but this comes from before the North Sea was there at all. And he said they're everywhere. So there is the part of the shin bone of a mammoth. Now, in geological terms, of course, that's yesterday, but wonderful, wonderful thing to have. Now, also I was given an ammonite. Sorry, this doesn't go on very long. But that became extinct same time as the dinosaurs. So 65 million years ago. Goodbye ammonites, this one probably about 67 million years old. And I was also given this, which I do treasure. This is a dropping, probably of Albertosaurus. Now, Albertosaurus is only 2 feet shorter than Tyrannosaurus rex. So imagine this. Concentrate on this for a moment. And you can hear Albertosaurus coming over what is now Wyoming. Feet shaking the earth, and then pop. And here we are. And after the next extinction, I really hope that, I think it will be cockroaches, but whatever the species is, that they're dominant, give it a few million years, and maybe all of our droppings will be treasured and polished. So there's a lot to look forward to. Well, that was a terrible extinction, but there's hope for all of us, especially right here in Enschede. And I want you to talk to somebody. Could he possibly hold up a hand? Henk Brinkhouse? He's hiding. No, he's not. There he is. He's a brave man. So you can talk to him about it, because he really does know his stuff. Now, in fact, if there was a prize for, Nobel Prize for geology, Henk Brinkhouse would definitely get it. But there isn't a prize, so bad luck. Now, after this disaster, I'm not sure, but he'll tell you, I think probably in the order of 2 or 3 million, maybe less. The Earth from being the most horrible place that we couldn't breathe in, full of carbon dioxide, thoroughly nasty, everything dead. Well, there's a little plant that grows in Canada, and I got all this from him, of course. Now, this little plant is still finding there, but then, 3 million years after the big extinction, it really began to grow, and there was a huge freshwater lake that it grew particularly well in. It's a mat, and it grows faster than any plant we know. And it loves carbon dioxide, it can't help itself. And it pushes out its own little coprolites, it pushes out oxygen. And so, in the end, it more or less killed itself off. But in this lake, which stretched from the Arctic down south, vast lake, to where? Just south of Enschede. And so, you helped save the world. Thank you very much.
Dat was het dan. Trouwens, laatste iemand over het hoofd. Je moet je misschien geen museumdirecteur, maar opperhoofd van het museum laten noemen. Ik moest erg lachen over een brief van het Natuurhistorisch Museum uit Florence. Ja, dat zijn wel die grapjes. Dat de conservator zich head curator noemt. Maar goed. Ga ik echt op een ander beginnen. Dames en heren, wij hadden 200 mensen verwacht en er zijn er 350. Dat betekent dat we zo de tentoonstelling ingaan, dat moeten we een beetje regelen. Dus blijft u alstublieft niet al te lang hangen in die expositie, want anders dan zijn anderen niet in de gelegenheid om het te zien. Het is een kruip door, sluip door gedoe, zoals Redmond al zei. Een beetje spooky. Dus hou daar alsjeblieft rekening mee. We hebben ook een paar mensen die dat zullen regelen. Dus, maar we gaan nu de tentoonstelling openen. Dus als u ons volgt naar boven toe en naar de grote deuren, die gaan we dan openen. Dan is de expositie geopend. Veel plezier nog. Blijf nog even langer. En, tot ziens. En als je nou echt de tentoonstelling wil zien, kom dan even terug en neem je museumkaart mee. Iedereen, alsjeblieft.